Alright, in this video we're going to talk about how to do this print board method. So if you look at the example game file, you can get a sense for what it's supposed to look like. So there's this line of underscores between each line of the board. So anyway, it should look like that. So let's try and make something look like that. Alright, so we head over to our game class. Now we know we need to use loops to look at the entire array. So for int row, we'll look at each row equals 0. I want the loop to continue as long as row is less than board.length. Oops, less than board.length. And each time through, because we want to look at every row, we just say row plus plus. Then this interior loop, we're going to say int column equals 0. I want this loop to continue until column is no longer less than, or as long as column is less than the length of a row, or the number of columns. And then column plus plus. And then we want to print something out. So system.out.print, and not print line. We'll just say, let's print out board at row column and see what that does. Well, it won't do very much yet because there's nothing in there. So I'm going to just guess that I need to have those lines in between each row and column. So let's say that we'll just print this after whatever's at board row column. We'll print a space, a line, and a space between each thing. So if we run our game now, we will see. Oops, this is the wrong file that's going to run right now. Alright, close that out. That's a different project. Let's run this runner here. The console should pop up. Player 1, what is your name? Joel. Ragnus. Okay, so it just printed out the entire board array right there. You can see what it's doing right there. That's not exactly what we want it to do. So you got to think through kind of what you want it to do here. How do we make that happen? Well, after each row has been printed, we want to print a line. So that's one thing we can do. We go back over to our game class, and after it prints out a whole row, it does the column thing, we want it to print a line. So this is kind of a sneaky way to print out a line. You can just say print line without anything in there. Excuse me. And it'll do it. So if we run our game now, okay, it's looking better. Alright, it's looking pretty good actually. Now we just need to print the underscores between the lines and at the bottom. Alright, so how do we print a series of underscores between each line? Well, what if we print it before we print out the row, system.out.println, it should accomplish part of it, and I don't know how many of those we need to print out, but we'll just copy this. And then we'll say we want to do one at the very end. So at the beginning, as it's printing each row, it'll print a line there of underscores. Let's see if this looks right. I think it's going to be pretty close. So J, D. Yeah, it looks pretty much exactly right. We just need to kind of maybe get rid of 3 of those things, 3 underscores, and it'll work. So let's just take out 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and run it again. J, G. Looks pretty good to me. Let's see if it actually accepts input. And it does. It's looking great. Alright, so we're quite a ways towards making a real tic-tac-toe game.